Good morning everybody, how are you doing? I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 3 recently and I just wanted to make a video about the game that's kind of showing how you can have an easy run with Dark Souls 3. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to start out as a warrior and get yourself the life ring as your starting gift, but we'll talk about that in a second. Dark Souls is very intimidating. All three of them, Demon Souls 2 and Bloodborne, the Souls series in general, are very intimidating games. And I know of a lot of people that like the idea of playing them, but don't want to actually do it because they are so intimidating, they are so scary. And as such, I thought it would be a good idea to make a quick video, which isn't really that quick, well, it's like half an hour long, but hey, to make a short video telling you guys how to get a very easy run in Dark Souls 3. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna go for some very specific items, and also I'm going to show you guys how to get the 3 trainers for spells, you know, the sorceries, the pyromancies, and the miracles. So that's the plan. Now, we're starting out with the warrior, because the weapon we're gonna be going for is the butcher's knife. Now, the butcher's knife is a purely strength-based weapon that is not only purely strength-based, which is fantastic, it also has a great, very simple-to-use moveset that, again, there's just another huge benefit of it. It just is easy to use and very powerful, and also fantastic weapon ability, and it scales incredibly well. Right, it has an S scaling on strength, which means it's going to always stay relevant, and it's even going to scale into the very, very late stages of the game. I beat New Game Plus 2 with the Butcher's Knife, no problem. So you're going to be able to get through the first, you know, the first run with it as well. Now, the way we're going to do this is I will run through most of the early things, right? Of course, if you're playing, just take your time, explore around, right? The Butcher's Knife appears very early in the game, and honestly, here in Firelink already, there's a lot to miss if you don't explore around, right? There's the guy with the Uchigatana to the left, which you definitely want to go check out, and you know, it's just kind of something that I encourage. I encourage that you go around and explore a lot, and don't just do a run like I did here, which is literally just running through the game. However, for the purpose of this video, you know, that's what we're gonna be doing. Now, very early on, you want to put most of your stuff into strength, because we need 26 strength by the time we get the Butcher's Knife, because that's just how much you need to use it, right? And we want to use the Butcher's Knife as soon as possible. Once you have 26 strength, put the rest of your stats into just health and endurance, right? Those are the 2 things that we need. Anything else is honestly not that relevant. Now you can see I'm taking the upper route here past the dragon. Down there is a mimic. If you want to take that, it has a deep axe or whatever. It deals dark damage. A very powerful weapon in the early game. We'll definitely recommend that you go get that, especially if you're playing a warrior, because it's just a better version of your current axe. And then we're gonna go up here and grab ourselves that bonfire really quick. I am also going to be covering stuff like Estus and Undead bone shards, because I think they're very valuable. Now, over here, if you go past the little black demon guy over there, like you know, one of the praying dudes is somebody that's, yeah, hear that sound? That's him. But he's gonna transform and such, so you gotta kill him quick. But if you do that, then you can go past him, and there's gonna be a crystal lizard, which is pretty nice. Down here, that's an Estus, and if you go to the left there, that's where the explosion came from. There will be a key, which you can use to unlock Greyrat, which I didn't do in this run, because honestly, it's not that important. But if you want to do that, then you can, well, do that, I guess. Over here, go up the lift, open up the door, makes it so you can get yourself to the bonfire really easily, and go down to the first, well, actually kind of the second boss. I don't know, I never consider the tutorial bosses to really be a boss, but, you know, to go for the first big boss here. So, you can roll down this and then stab this guy, which is a quick way of getting down here. If you get the Uchigatana from the Swordmaster in the beginning, you can summon him here. Although, you don't have to, this boss is very easy. I just summoned some people because, I don't know, I just wanted to get past him as quickly as possible. However, that didn't quite work out. One of them didn't come through entirely. And this second guy helps me very early on and then just disappears. So I had to fight most of this on my own. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's fine. If you're fighting this guy, just stick to his back. Honestly, if you stay below him, if you stay in his back, he can't really do much. The most dangerous move he's going to do is the charging attack. Yeah, that one. But that's rather easy to dodge. Just be careful, right? As per usual in Dark Souls, you always want to be careful. You always want to take things slow, and then you'll be just fine. So we're just gonna kill him really quick. This is, again, it's just very early on in the game. Honestly, I think this is a very easy boss just because of how easy he is to abuse. And I did get very unlucky in this fight too, because he only uses his Ice Breath attack towards the end. So I didn't really get a lot of value out of that. Usually if he uses that Ice Breath, you can very easily take, I don't know, like a quarter of his HP or something like that. You can get a lot of damage in. Now this over here, I personally think is actually harder than the boss if you want to do it properly. But there are these knights. These knights are very powerful. They will not follow you into this chamber though. So you can't just run past them and then talk to the lady. She's gonna give you the banner and the way of the blue, and then you can head out of there. Funnily enough, you can kill her and then instantly initiate the dancer fight. Which is, that is a late game fight that you're usually supposed to only get after you kill all 3 of the Lords of Cinder. But, you know, you can still do it already if you really feel like it. And then you can already, you know, do stuff like the Untended Graves. Anyway, down here there's one very important NPC that we're going to grab ourselves. This guy is going to be essential for one of the main quest lines in the game. Also going to be essential for one of the endings, which is our pilgrim right here. So we talk to him and then we accept his service and he's going to go back to Firelink. Now again, he is essential for one of the endings. It's very important that you get him there if you want to get the Lord of Hollows ending, which honestly I think is the coolest one. I really like the Lord of Hollows ending. I think it's a very interesting take on it. Take on, you know, the lore of the game and such. So I don't know. I like the Lord of Hollows ending. I don't know what else there is to say about that. But we already made it to the Undead settlement. Didn't take very long. And now this is where most of the things that we're gonna do in this video takes place. Right here in this area. Now the first thing we want to do is get past these 2 assholes, which turned out to be a little bit more difficult than expected. Then you can grab yourself the small leather shield and then backstab this guy, which lets you just kind of make this whole area a little easier. To the left is Loretta's Bone, if you want that, again for Gryrat, but we're not doing him right now. Now, over there you're gonna find an Estus. Or is it an Undead Boncher? No, I think is it an Estus? Yes, it's an Estus. So you can get yourself an Estus right there, which is very important, right? Like Estus are always very valuable. Then I recommend you run down the cliff and then go this way around, because it makes it so that the enemies stop chasing you, which kind of makes the rest a little bit easier. You can climb up the right here if you want to. Don't have to, but you know, if you want to. And that gives you access to the what is it? The covenant that's around here. The Mad Phantom Covenant. I actually kind of forgot its name right now. But you know, the purple summon sign covenant. It's back there if you want it. Right? You go up to the right and then there's a guy with a cage and you climb into the cage. It's not really that important. Again, it's not really essential to the game. It's just a little side thing. And I wanted to keep this as short as possible. And I already took a lot longer than I wanted to. Just because I included too much stuff. So, yeah. But anyway. We're gonna go through the door and then run over here and then drop down to the right. There's gonna be a guy which you can kill. Easy peasy. And there's gonna be another guy which you can kill as well. And then grab yourself the Titanite shard that's on the ground there. That's of course gonna be useful for upgrading. Which honestly at this point you should probably already have upgraded your weapon. I'm still at the level 1 base standard axe, but you know. We're gonna light that bonfire and now we're about to meet our first teacher, which is going to be the Pyromancy teacher. If this is the first time you're playing Dark Souls 3, which I assume it is, I don't really know who's gonna end up watching this, if anyone is gonna end up watching this, but the thing is that if this is your first time playing Dark Souls 3, I actually recommend you go for a strength build with a little bit of Pyromancy, right? You can skip the Pyromancy. I just think it's a cool part of the game. It's easier to just go for a strength build, but you know, having the pyromancies is just kind of cool, but generally speaking, pyromancies are also very powerful and you don't need a lot of them, which is another big benefit. Once you get to the smoldering lake and kill the old demon king, which I don't know if those names are considered to be spoilers, but anyway, you kill the old demon king, and then after that, you can get yourself the probably best pyromancy spell in the game just by transfusing his, or transposing his soul, which I recommend you do, right? But anyway, so now we're in the Undead settlement again. We got ourselves on our bonfire. We're gonna run into this area, and we're gonna grab ourselves a light branch. Or what are they called? Young white branch? Yes, young white branch. Now we need one of those. There's like 3 around there. We don't need all 3 of them, but we do need one of them. I'm gonna grab the Undead bone shard. The one of those young white branches is enough to make it so you can make peace with the giant that's shooting arrows at us, which makes the rest of the game easier because he actually helps you at 2 more locations, I believe. Might be 3, but I'm pretty sure it's just 2. Now, we also need to go in here because we want to get this right here, the Mortician's Ashes. Now, the Mortician's Ashes allow us to buy a key from the Shrine Handmaid. So we're gonna go back to our bonfire now, and then go back to Firelink, and then we're gonna buy ourselves that key. Now, the key is gonna give us access to the second teacher, which is gonna be our miracle teacher, which is, you know, another way to play the game. And again, I just kind of want to unlock the sorceries, the miracles, and the pyromancies for you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and head over here, allot our Estus again, give him some of our shards. We of course also burn the Undead bone shard, and then we give her the Mortician's Ashes and grab ourselves the key. Now with that key, we should be able to go, also upgrade your strength some more, right? Oh, by the way, don't just immediately max out your strength like I'm doing here, right? This is again a very rushed run. This is just, let's go and get through this as quickly as I can to show you guys as much in as short of a time as possible. So down there, that is the door we can unlock with the key. So we jump in here, which gives us access to this statue, which lets us request absolution or request dissolution, which we're not gonna need at the moment, but if at any point of the game you feel like you need it, then you can do that there. It helps you in case you aggro an enemy which you don't want to aggro, right? Absolution makes it so you can get rid of that. But to the right over there is going to be a crystal lizard and some items which you should pick up, but I didn't, just as I don't pick up that item. But climb up those, climb up that ladder, and then to the left is going to be our miracle teacher. Now, something that's very important about this miracle teacher is actually that we are going to get the first tome for her, for the pyromancer, and for the sorcerer. Now, there are 4 tomes overall you can give to her, but you should really only give her 2 of them. The other 2 will corrupt her, and then she's gonna run off and never come back, which is a little bit unfortunate, right? If you want the bad ending for her, then yes, do that. But if you do not want the bad ending, then you should try to avoid it. And this guy is also going to be helpful in quite a few boss fights if you keep her, you know, healthy, I guess, right? If you make it so that you don't give her the bad tomes, then then he's gonna be helpful in some boss fights, most notably the Dragon Slayer armor, which is really, really strong. Anyway, we got ourselves the good old Secret. Yeah, Secret of Katarina. Katarina? I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but this is where we first meet him. This is where it's actually gonna be already important that we follow or start his quest line. It's actually a little bit tricky to figure out, you know, what to do on your own. So I felt like showing you as well, because I actually really like this guy. Not only is he very useful because he gives you a Titanite slab if you complete his story, but he also comes in handy in a big boss fight, and it is actually just a really nice storyline. I think he actually has one of the more compelling storylines in the game. So, you know, I recommend you follow his quest line, but, you know, you do you. But anyway, we're gonna go up here and make peace with this guy. Again, we need one of those white branches so we can do this. Now he's gonna stop shooting at us and instead gonna start shooting at everybody else, which is quite handy, especially at a later point, but no spoilers right now, right? That's not what this is about. So we're gonna go down here, and then you drop off the drop off the elevator as soon as you see the and then you talk to him again. And down there is that fire demon. Now the fire demon is actually something we want to fight, because not only is this gonna be the first step to his questline, but it's also going to give us access to a pale tongue. A pale tongue is gonna be an item that we need for a different questline, right? We don't need to get that pale tongue here, we can get it later. I just personally like having it as soon as possible, and this is the earliest we can get one. So, I don't know. Actually, I think we can get one earlier by invading somebody, but you know, like, this is where one is on the ground. Now, this is where I just kind of let Sequad fight a little bit, because I'm an ass like that. But then it took too long. I don't even know if he can die here, if I'm completely honest. Like, I just thought, you know, I better go save him in case he can die, because that would be a little bit unfortunate, wouldn't it? So you kill this fire demon here. Then he drops a fire gem, and Sequel is gonna give you, you know, a Siegbräu. Siegbräu. Yeah, I think that's how it's called. But he's gonna give you that, and he's also going to give you the toast emote, which is of course the most valuable emote. No, seriously, that's the one you need. Anyway, we're gonna get ourselves those two things right there. Talk to him really quick, and then we're just gonna skip through that. I kind of skip through most of it because, again, I don't want to spoil anything. Like, that's not really the point. The point is to just kind of show you that it's very easy to get access to all of these things, and that you can get very, very powerful weaponry very early in the game. So, over there, the one little glowing thing is going to be a large club or a heavy club or something like that. It is not a bad weapon, but it is worse than the one we're about to get. So, I don't really think it's that valuable. So, anyway, we go over here. Gonna level up some more. I'm gonna put our last 2 points into that. Now, I'm gonna go around the place and talk to some people. You want to talk to him, and you want to keep talking to him until his dialogue is exhausted. And after it's exhausted, then, you know, you need to continue playing, and eventually you go talk to him again. Now, this is the guy we need the pale tongue for. So you talk to him, he gives you the cracked red eye orbs, then his dialogue is exhausted, you go away, you come back, and then you should be able to continue his storyline by getting a key, which lets you go down some elevator somewhere, right? But I'm sure you guys can figure that out on your own. Now, this is where actually one of the fights that I was the most worried about comes in. Like, when I was making this video, I was actually very worried about this fight, because for some reason I always struggle with this guy. I don't know why, but he's somebody that I just struggle with. It's a tough opponent. I actually think he is one of the toughest opponents you can face this early on in the game. But anyway, there's also a boss fight in this area, by the way, which you should definitely do. This boss fight is going to give you the transpulsing kiln. It is not necessary to do the rotted great wood. You don't have to do it, but I recommend you do, because it's actually quite an interesting fight, and also the transpulsing kiln comes in very handy, especially if, as I mentioned earlier, you want to do some pyromancy. You know, there are some very valuable pyromancy spells you can get that way. So anyway, this guy right here, God, he's difficult, man. Like, this is the one that I struggle with a ton. I don't know. I can get to this part of the game without dying, no problem. But it is not unusual that I die many times to him. But anyway, we got lucky and we it didn't drop. Got him on the first attempt, which I was very proud of while making the video again. Now we're about to already get our weapon. Right, we are almost there to get our weapon that is going to carry us through the entire rest of the game. And this is not just going to be a weapon that's like, oh, okay, well, this is going to be good for a little while, and then eventually we need to get a different one. No, this thing is super fucking godlike. And that's going to be the butcher knife. Now, down here is the lady. An easy way of killing her, by the way, she's pretty strong. An easy way of dealing with her is to just push her down the cliff somehow. But then you need to reload the game. I thought she was going to run down on her own. But then you need to reload the game, and her weapon is going to be on the ground. However, it's not really necessary, especially if you started out as a warrior, because warrior have this little move right there, which stuns her long enough to get 2 attacks in. And you do that 3 times at most. I think probably 2 is already enough, and you're just going to kill her. And there we go, we got the butcher knife. So we just equipped that. You can see it's not a particularly heavy weapon, and it has some really, really nice just it just has a really, really nice moveset. It deals a lot of damage. It has an ability to heal. It scales the best with strength. It has an S scaling with strength, which I believe is the only weapon that does that. I may be wrong about that though. But it doesn't require any dexterity at all. It is just an absolutely fantastic weapon, and it is very powerful. Right, so down here, by the way, is gonna be our first divine tome, which we can give to the miracle teacher. There's also gonna be a ring down here, which is quite helpful. But anyway, gotta get rid of these dogs really quick. Goodbye, dog. Yeah, that was entirely planned, by the way. But you can see the Braille Divine Tome, or whatever it said at the end. But you get that, then you run over here, fall down the cliff. And then we're almost done. Not quite, but we're getting pretty close. Now, honestly, if you just want to get the weapons as soon as possible, then skip all of the other stuff I did, right? Like skip Sequard, skip the Giants, skip the Miracle Teacher, skip the Pyromancy Teacher, right? You don't need to do any of that to just run past everything and get yourself the Butcher Knife. But after you did that, after you got the Butcher Knife, right, I recommend you just go back at the very start. You go back before you kill the first boss, right, on the high wall of Lothric, and you just go through the game regularly again with your new equipment. Or if you don't feel like running, I say you just play regularly up to this point, get yourself the Butcher Knife and stuff. Again, I just want to show where this stuff is and how to best get it. But anyway, I'm gonna have you guys go down. These guys are actually really tricky, but there is a bit of a trick you can use to deal with them, which is you just buy yourself a torch. I didn't have one here, so I couldn't do it, but you get yourself a torch from the shrine handmade, and then with the torch you just hit them once, and then they incapacitate it for a little bit, and then you can just, you know, get some hits in, and you, after they stopped being stunned, you hit them with the torch again, and then, you know, you just kind of get it. But anyway, we got our Grass Crest Shield here. Now the Grass Crest Shield is, in my opinion, the best shield in the game. Now, it's not the best shield in terms of, like, tanking ability or, you know, stability or how much it blocks, any of that. No. But it gives you a nice solid amount of everything, and it also gives you increased stamina recovery. Which, even though it is not the best shield in terms of, you know, it is the most powerful shield, it is the most useful one I have found. Oh, by the way, this is... those two can be really tricky, unless you do what I just did, which is a little bit cheap. But again, I've played like 100 hours of Dark Souls 3 in like the past week, because I was laying on the couch sick and I had nothing better to do. So, I just kind of figured out ways of, you know, kind of dealing with that shit. But anyway, you get yourself the Fallen Knight armor as well, which is a fantastic armor. It's not very heavy. With this equipment, you're still going to have the fast roll. You're gonna have plenty of armor to get you through the rest of the game. You got yourself a fantastic weapon that is going to get you through the rest of the game, and you got yourself a great shield that is not only going to get you through the rest of the game, but it's also going to be very, very helpful, like just forever, because it's just like so fantastic to have that stamina recovery, right? And honestly, with this item set, you can take on any boss, any fight, no problem. You're gonna be fine. The only important thing is you keep upgrading the Butcher Knife. Again, I recommend you complete Sequard's storyline, so you get yourself the Titanite Slab. You can also get Titanite Slabs in different ways, but that's, you know, the earliest or the easiest, I guess. But anyway, you can grab yourself the Great Swamp Pyromancy Tome over there, which is the first tome for the Pyromancy Teacher. And then you just go through the swamp area. Don't bother fighting those crabs. They are very dangerous, but they are unlikely to kill you if you just keep running. And they are incredibly powerful. Honestly, I would recommend you just stay away from them. They are super fucking nasty. Now, we're gonna head over here. And there you can see there's a Mad Phantom sign on the ground. You can summon Holy Knight Hendrik there if you want to and duel him. But more importantly, there's an Estus shard, which is the thing I care about. Now that we've grabbed our Estus, we're going to teleport back to Firelink. Teleport back to Firelink? Yes, thank you. Teleport back to Firelink. And at Firelink, we're going to put 2 points into our intelligence. Because if we want the Sorcery's teacher, we need to have 10 intelligence. This is not optional. You need to have 10 minimum intelligence to be able to, get him to join you. And another important thing about the Sorcery's teacher is that you need to give him a scroll or a tome, or, like one of the things that gives him new stuff he can sell you. You need to give him one of those before you actually go into the catacombs, which is pretty early if you want it to be. So first, we're gonna go get him, though. That's why I put 2 points into intelligence. It's another great thing about starting out as a warrior. A warrior is decently smart, so you don't have to spend a ton of time or like a ton of skill points into intelligence to grab yourself the sorceries if you want them. Again, they're not necessary, but I just wanted to show it. So you find him here, you ask to do sorceries, and he's gonna join you at Firelink. But the important thing is, yet again, you need to actually give him something, else he's just going to fuck off, and that's really not what we want. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go down into Farron Keep. We're going to get the first scroll, as well as lightning bolt. Because lightning bolt is that actually what you call it? Throw lightning bolt? I don't remember what you call it. Lightning spear, that's what you call it, right? But anyway, over here is going to be an Estus, which is of course very important. But the lightning spear is going to be very valuable if you want to go for miracles. It's going to be your only valuable damaging miracle this early on. It's actually pretty powerful, so I personally recommend you go grab it if you want to play as a miracle, character. But yeah, that's what we're going to do in Farron Keep. So we're just going to run through this and head over here. Kill this guy really quick. So you can see right there, that's what the butcher knife looks like. It's not a fancy weapon, it's really not, but it's a very efficient one. And that's really all we need, right? That one always trips me out. I always want to go through the door. Now I'm always like, oh wait, no, not here. Door isn't actually what we're looking for here. So, over to the right, there's gonna be an undead bone shard, which is, again, there's something I think is really, really important that you get those. Makes the game much easier to always collect the undead bone shards and the Estus flasks. And then over there to the right is gonna be some sorcery stuff. If you want to play sorcery, you should go pick that. Sorcery, if you want to play sorcery, you should go pick that up. But anyway, over there is the Sage's Scroll, and then I get stabbed in the back and die. But honestly, I made it this far without dying, which I was really impressed with already. And it's not that important, because at this point I actually kind of appreciate it, since it gets us back to where I want to go quicker. So now we're gonna have to go up here, which is gonna lead us to the Wolf Blood Covenant, which lets us, fight off invaders in Farron Keep. There's not really that many people that are part of that covenant, I have found, seeing as I just, usually I just run around Embered all the time, because I don't mind fighting people. I think it's pretty fun, and I tend to win a lot. So I run around Embered very frequently, and those guys, they just never invade me. So that's really the least popular covenant, I think. But anyway, this is a little bit tricky. This took me a while to figure out myself. I didn't see this for quite a few playthroughs, but over here you can find some crystal lizards and also a shield, the Dragon Crest shield, and the lightning spear, which is fantastic. Of course, that's very valuable. But yeah, it's a little bit hidden. Still, that's where you get the lightning spear. But anyway, we got Siri of the Sunless Moon now, whatever the hell she's called. Eternal Siri of the Spotless Mind. We got him, who is still stuck on his current dialogue. So we actually need to go into the cathedral first, but we can talk to him, Leonard, and he's gonna give us a key, the lift chamber key. This again is because we have the pale tongue. Without the pale tongue, he doesn't give us that. So that's why I like getting that early pale tongue. But you can also just go to the cathedral and get it there. But, whatever. And this guy right there, you can talk to him and draw out your true strength, which gives you 3 level ups, and also continues on with the Lord of Hollows ending if you want to go for that one. And then over here, you're gonna see our 3 teachers that we have acquired. So this right here is gonna be the Pyromancy one. him we're gonna talk to, and then we're gonna just give him our Pyromancy tome. I like him, he's nice. You know, he is nice. He's just a homie. And I want to hang out with him. The sorcery teacher is an asshole. I don't like him at all. But the sorcery teacher is kind of a dick. However, you know, we still need to have him around because he does maybe come in handy if you want to go for it. But you can give him the Sage's Scroll. There's another scroll in Farron Keep. It doesn't matter if you give him both. You just need to give him one. As long as you give him one, though, he's going to stick around. But again, it's very important you give him one. If you don't give him one, he's just gonna fuck off, and we don't want that. And then back here is our little helpless little girl that just wants to tell tales of miracles. But anyway, that was that video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a lot of talking, holy shit, man. I hope this was entertaining in some sort of way. I know I don't usually do Dark Souls stuff, but I just like this game. I've really come to enjoy Dark Souls 3, even though I didn't expect it. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a pointer to, you know, see if you know, can just enjoy it this way as well. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please feel free to leave a rating on the video. Let me know if you want to see more Dark Souls 3 stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.